I think here Don Jose was crying out for a holding midfielder. Welcome, how are you? How's it going? Now let's listen to the subtext in what Mourinho was saying. You know, this format is always pretty short. Well, the post-match interview on Real Madrid TV, coaches and players usually don't spend much time there, but Mourinho really opened up and talked about how he saw his team during the match. A long explanation like the other day, dropping a hint or two that we'll analyze in a moment. Carlos Espi also spoke. Hey, by the way, his goal was really good because he caught the goalkeeper a bit off balance and put it right in there. That's that guy's job. He's our Jose Lu this year, and I hope he does just as well. Honestly, where do I sign for him to work out as well as the great Jose Lu Mato? And now let's take a look at the lineup Mourinho has put out with just one change compared to the other day's match against Fiorentina, which is putting Brahim where Dan Fries was the other day and putting Dan Fries where Trent Alexander-Arnold was the other day. Then almost everyone got some minutes, but let's say one or two things first. First, let's not exaggerate. I'm seeing some things now that are really surprising. I mean, there's been too much pessimism this week, especially after the news the other day about Rodri, which is a big deal, really. That's how Madrid had to bring together on the same afternoon the most expensive signing in its history and the most important contract renewal in its history. Why would that be, right? Of course, it was to counteract what had happened or what many Real Madrid fans were feeling. Careful, I've read many of your comments, not all of you, but many, about that anger, that outrage I caused the other day. But it's not really about Rodri anymore. I know some will call me Rodri's widow, but let's drop that, okay? Let's move past the name. All right, agreed. What's clear is that we need a holding midfielder here because we're going to keep talking about that. Sorry, but we're going to keep insisting on the need for a midfielder. But if the coach is saying it, if Jose Mourinho himself is saying it, now we'll see how he talks about Bernardo Silva and the need for a player like the Portuguese because he needs more players. He said it in the interview, someone who can distribute, who can play the ball out from the back. It couldn't be any clearer. Besides, it's not just about what Mourinho says in that flash interview after the one on Real Madrid television. It's about what the man can do and what we see in his lineups. If he puts Camavinga and Fede Valverde as double pivots with Arda Guller playing further forward, by the way, well, that's another important thing to mention about today's match. And another certainty is that Arda Güler is in great form and he has to be a starter in this team. But there's a problem here, and it's going to be the same as always. Honestly, we're going to get into some debates this season that remind us of last season and the one before, which is about Arda. Güler plays well there as that's his position. Last year, we tried moving him deeper into the build-up. And guys, one game like this, another not. In the next one, physically, he couldn't keep up in the final third, which is where the Turk works best. He's an attacking midfielder, a playmaker. He's at the tip of that triangle. That's how it is. But there's Bellingham, right? Well, Güler did very well. Honestly, practically all of Real Madrid's attacking play today went through him in a good and very acceptable first half from Real Madrid, just like the other day against Fiorentina. It's understandable since it's preseason. The team plays better in the first half than the second. Today, luckily, we held on and preserved the result. And now Mourinho is going to comment on it, making a veiled criticism of his own, but with a touch of optimism or positivity. It's, look, today we didn't make any. No, he said, yes, sorry, we're going to see it now. But he meant the 47th minute. In a league match, you shouldn't commit a dangerous foul nearby, right? Or you don't do certain things that today you did, and they get away with it because it's preseason. It's a warning to his players. The Portuguese coach did very well there. As I said, that double pivot of Camavinga and Valverde, well, yes, as soon as I turned on the TV, I thought, oh my God, not only because of what you'll see, which isn't good since you've already seen it, but also because of what could happen if Madrid doesn't sign a defensive midfielder. A specialist who can handle it on his own, or at least have a creative player next to him like Bernardo Silva, who's going to play. Bernardo Silva is going to be a starter on this team. That's absolutely clear. And Mourinho has said that if he's a little tired and so on, obviously, but he's going to play. Now, he won't be able to play every game, right? And of course, Camavinga, Valverde. Okay, next one. Come on, let's try Tchouaméni Valverde now, since we've already seen how it turned out. Let's try Tchouaméni, Bernardo Silva now, Camavinga, Bernardo Silva, Valverde Silva, and Guller from time to time. We can drop him there. What? Who fits the worst in that build-up at the base of the play out of all of them? Because Guller has to be the one making the final pass, and he already has been. And besides, he combines really well with Mbappe, damn it. In fact, he combines really well with anyone, by the way. Since Mbappe was absent today, he connected well with his teammates in the final third. And, well, Alexis would say, very good, very good. I really like that guy. He did a Rabona. He gave the assist for Mario Rivas' goal. Hey, the center back stepped up very well. The guys did well today. Mario Rivas, Joan Martinez, better than the other day. Today, Madrid again played without starting or first-team center backs, which is understandable. They already played in the second half, House and Rudiger. Rudiger was a bit off on their goal, but, well, it's understandable too. They just joined. Danfries Carreras, good. We're waiting for him to be able to play, for him to arrive, and for Cucurella to be able to play. So all of this can be improved. So let's not exaggerate. Some say we're not playing at all. I don't know what they're talking about. What do you expect Mourinho to do today? He's already done quite a lot to play a decent first half against the team, the Hungarian Ferencváros, which, let's be honest, is nothing special, of course. I mean, Madrid is going to win 124 matches like this one this year against this kind of opponent, but at least it's a team that has already played Europa League qualifiers. They've already played like 4 or 5 official matches, I think. And, well, they already have a competitive rhythm, and Madrid will beat them. Good. I mean, I'm not getting into either pessimism or optimism here, because I keep seeing comments from people who think everything Real Madrid does is great. Everything. It all seems fine to them. Where were they the last 2 years? It's incredible. They say, no, this machine works perfectly. It's well oiled. And you just think, my goodness. Anyway, that's it. It's neither one thing nor the other, damn it. I've said it. I like Syria, but we're not going to see him this year. That guy is going to play for Castilla, because you do the math there with Benicio up front when Rodrigo recovers and so on. And then there's the thing with Hendrik. Hendrik did very well during the time he was on. I actually like Hendrik, but to be a starter for Real Madrid, well, he's still lacking something. And he wasn't going to be a starter anyway. We've been talking about it in the last videos with that information from Ramon that it's very likely he'll be loaned out again. Of course, because he sees that there are very strong players ahead of him. He's not going to take minutes from them. And besides, they're players who want to play every game. That's where the coach's job comes in, telling Mbappe or Diamante or Benicio, hey, you'll get these minutes. So the Brazilian kid will get a lot this year, which is the only way he'll stay. Otherwise, he won't, because he wants to play. And he looks ready to do it. Right. Like I said, Spi's goal was really good, because it came in a really good Real Madrid move, by the way, from a Valverde pass. And I also really liked Madrid's pressing up front when they were able to do it. We pressed high. Well, I mean, there are some very, very positive signs. Others, maybe not so much in the second half when the team starts to relax a bit more. But Mourinho repeats it in his interviews, and this means he's paying a lot of attention to that. And as attentive as we like a coach to be, so they don't rest on their laurels. Spi spoke, whose voice we have hardly heard, and he said this after the match, scoring his first goal for Real Madrid. Wait a moment. Volume now.
Real Madrid against Ferencváros. Carlos, congratulations. Your second match, your first goal. How would you describe what it feels like to score a goal for Real Madrid wearing this jersey?
The truth is that it's magical. It's amazing to score wearing this jersey, to help the team, and I'm very happy.
Second match for you. How did you feel today with increased minutes?
The truth is that I felt better, more free. My teammates helped me a lot. Arda, CD with the goal, the whole team, and I'm very happy.
What are your thoughts on today's match? Where is Real Madrid showing improvement in this early second test?
Well, it's still early, but we're working with the team. We're doing what the coach says, and I think we're moving forward.
What's it like to play with Valverde, who gave you the assist, with Bernardo, who made his debut today, and with players like Vini, who also had his first minutes? What stands out to you about all of them?
Honestly, it's incredible to play with these players. Like I said, they've helped me a lot. I'm very happy, and we're going for more.
Well, the kid was repeating himself a bit here, but what I take from it is that he played with more freedom today. He played more calmly, which makes sense. It's only his second match. He was nervous the other day and missed a header, which is rare for him since he's usually great at heading. But it's understandable, as it was among his first touches as a Real Madrid player. Today, as soon as he got a good chance, he scored and finished it well. That's how a player with those traits should finish. What we ask of him this year is that when he only gets a few minutes en el área. And now let's get to what Mao had to say and read between the lines of what the Real Madrid coach says, because it's very interesting.
What did you think of your team today, Real Madrid?
Look, first I want to thank Ferencvaros for this very good training session. They have, I think, 5 Europa League matches already played, with a couple more in their league. You can see they have a high level of intensity and play well. Very good training session. I like the first half more than the second. I'm not surprised. The first half, it's a team we've already been working with. We've played a couple of matches before. There's more connection between the players who are on the field. Very good control of the match. Second half, Vinny comes in, Bernardo comes in, who hasn't had any minutes and only has a couple of days of training. The team as well, we've changed Hendrik's position. We've lost a bit of our game organization. But it's fine. For me, that's more important. Doing everything well also means doing some things wrong, which allows me to think together with the players, analyze them, and always improve. I have a very simple example. In a league match, if you're winning 2-1 in the 47th minute, here comes the dig.
Here comes the dig.
You make a vertical pass, you don't lose the ball, and you don't end the match with a dangerous foul like what happened. In the 47th minute, you have to know what you need to do.
It's just a little dig. This won't happen in La Liga or the Champions League.
And all these little mistakes that happen in these matches, it's good for me.
How has Vinny looked to you during these special days after renewing with Real Madrid?
No, the most important thing is the contract extension. It's great for him, obviously, but it's great for all of us too. Not much training. They are players who, like the others did a couple of weeks ago, go into the match already tired. They go into the match already feeling the fatigue in their legs from the work we've done. And well, I didn't expect Vinny to run today. Taking the ball, carrying it 50 meters and scoring a goal is definitely a process. Next Wednesday, he'll be better than today. And next Sunday at Gasol Kitchen, he'll be even better.
How important is it for you to have a player like Bernardo Silva making his debut in this jersey today?
Bernardo is important, but the poor guy is another one who just had a vacation. He's the kind of guy who benefits from clearing his mind. He doesn't do anything during the vacation period. He showed up in a physical condition that's quite below par, and he needs to improve. But Bernardo is a tremendous player who gives us ball distribution. If he plays deeper, if he plays as a 6 or an 8, he gives us great distribution. During the match, I realized he was lacking a bit physically, so I moved him up to the number 10 position and put the young Sestero in to give us a bit of stability.
Well, in the second half, what Mourinho does is put Bernardo and Fede Valverde as a double pivot. When he sees that physically, as he just said, he's lacking a bit, he puts Sestero in there and moves Bernardo up to that number 10 position.
The number 10 position is another spot where Bernardo is comfortable. He's one of those players who can play 3 or 4 positions for a coach. It's a squad that we want to keep small. We want a small squad. I would say with 20 players, plus the unfortunate ones we have out for some time, Rodrigo, Militao, Fernandes, they are injured players that I don't expect to recover in the coming weeks. A small squad of 20 players, we also need a player who can do what Bernardo does, which is play in different positions.
Mind you, we need another player like Bernardo who can play in different positions.
Mind you, we also need a player who can do what Bernardo does, which is play in different positions.
Of course, I mean someone who can play in different positions there in the midfield. It's true that he's not asking for a specialist pivot, but rather a player who, if he's talking about Bernardo's profile, can play out from the back and play in the midfield in all those positions, like as a number 8, as a playmaker, or as a double pivot. You get what I mean, right? Because maybe he's resigned to the fact that he won't find any specialist of that type. I still think that's what Real Madrid has to look for, because the market really lacks a player like that. There are only, and we'll talk about it in the next video, so this one doesn't get too long, 3 guys like that: Boadi, Wharton, Keith Smith. None of them are reliable. None of them. That's why what I was saying about Rodri, forget about whatever it is with Rodri, any grudge you have against him, whatever he decided, the whole buying refs thing, whatever it is, he was a specialist in that position. And right, There was a lot. A lot, no? A lot. There was a lot. Many with experience and with someone who can give him more options to work with in midfield. And with that, well, to manage to eliminate those shortcomings in Real Madrid's midfield build-up, which is what the team has struggled with in recent years. That's where the failures have come from, especially considering our forwards, like the other one with 150 goals. Well, if there's no play coming from midfield, that's where the problems are. Mourinho knows it. He knows that a great opportunity was missed in the Rodri move, but he needs someone else there. Well, that's it. Tell me in the comments what you think. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel, comment, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.